Today, we're diving into the incredible partnership between biology and technology. We're going to explore how the natural world has basically served as the ultimate blueprint for some of our most amazing innovations. So, let's see how it all works.
You know, it sounds like the beginning of a bad joke, doesn't it? But this question, it actually holds the key to a truly brilliant engineering solution. Any ideas?
The answer, believe it or not, is the kingfisher. So, Japan's famous bullet trains had this problem. When they shot out of tunnels at super high speeds, they were creating this deafening sonic boom. It was a huge disturbance for anyone living nearby. Well, the engineers were stumped, so they turned to nature. They noticed how the kingfisher can dive from the air straight into water with almost zero splash. It's incredible. So, they redesigned the nose of the train to mimic the kingfisher's beak. And guess what? It not only got rid of the sonic boom, but it actually made the train faster and more energy efficient. Talk about a win-win.
All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start by looking at how nature is just the ultimate inventor. Then we'll see how we moved from just copying nature to really integrating with it. We'll check out the amazing tools this has given us, but also face the power and the peril that comes with this knowledge. And finally, we'll talk about our ethical compass through it all.
Okay, first up, let's really dig into how nature has been inspiring scientists and engineers for, well, centuries. It's like a bottomless well of brilliant ideas.
So here's the key idea. Nature is this massive, pre-existing library of solutions. I mean, for millions of years, life has been solving these incredibly complex problems. Things like structure, efficiency, survival. All we really have to do is learn how to read the book. Let's look at a few amazing examples.
Take termites. Engineers in Zimbabwe studied their mounds, which somehow stay at a nearly constant temperature inside, even when it's scorching hot outside. By copying the mound's super-smart system of vents and chimneys, they designed a whole building that uses 90% less energy for air conditioning. A tiny insect solving a massive energy problem? How cool is that?
And then you've got the spider. I mean, pound for pound, spider silk is literally stronger than steel. This incredible material hasn't just inspired old-school weaving tech, it's at the heart of modern material science. It led to the development of synthetic, bulletproof vests that copy the crazy strength and flexibility of spider silk. Just amazing.
All right, let's be honest. Nobody likes getting a shot, right? Well, scientists looked really closely at a mosquito's proboscis, that's its mouth part, to figure out how it can pierce our skin almost painlessly. And that research led to the design of new medical needles that are way less painful. A perfect case of looking at something we all find super annoying and discovering a piece of total engineering genius.
Okay, so we've seen how we can imitate nature. But what happens when we go beyond just copying and actually start working with its systems? This is where things get really interesting.
And this is where we get biotechnology. It's a really simple but incredibly powerful formula. You take our deep understanding of biology, the study of life itself, and then we apply our engineering know-how to it. And boom, you get something totally new and useful. This blend is where the real magic happens.
At its core, that's all it really is. And it's not actually new. We humans have been doing this for thousands of years. Seriously, every time you eat a piece of bread or have a beer, you're enjoying the results of biotechnology. We're using yeast, a living biological system, to create something delicious.
So now, let's look at some of the more modern, totally life-changing tools and devices that have come out of this incredible fusion of biology and technology.
So many of the tools we count on for our health are just perfect examples of this. A pregnancy test, for example. It's not just a piece of plastic, it's a super sophisticated little device designed to detect a very specific biological marker, the HCG hormone. It lets us peek inside the body's hidden chemistry. And the very same principle is at work in kits that measure blood sugar for people with diabetes, giving them vital real-time info to manage their health.
We've also developed tech that lets us see the biological world in ways our eyes just never could. From microscopes that magnify the tiny, invisible world of cells to PET scans that let us actually watch metabolic processes happening in real time inside a living body. We can even use GPS to map out where species live across entire continents, giving us this almost godlike view of life on Earth. The possibilities are they're mind-boggling.
So this power to see, to understand, and even to manipulate biology, it's completely transformative. But as we all know, with that kind of power comes huge responsibility and sometimes unimaginable danger.
And the contrast here is it's stark. On the one hand, these breakthroughs have given us longer,
healthier lives, way more food, and miracle drugs like antibiotics that have saved millions upon millions of people. But on the other hand, the industrial side of these technologies has led to massive pollution, the destruction of our natural resources, and in the absolute worst cases, the development of horrifying biological weapons. It really is a double-edged sword.
So this brings us to our last and honestly most important section. How do we even begin to navigate this incredibly complex landscape? How do we handle this immense power responsibly?
This is really the heart of bioethics. Every single new discovery, whether it's gene editing or a new kind of animal testing, it forces us to face these really tough, uncomfortable questions about what's right and what's wrong. And these aren't just scientific questions. They are deeply human ones, with huge implications for our future.
A really clear framework for this is the 3 R's principle they use in animal experiments. The first goal is reduction, use the absolute minimum number of animals necessary. The second is refinement, make the experiments as humane as possible to reduce any suffering. And the third, and this is the big one, is replacement. Whenever you possibly can, replace animal experiments completely with alternatives like cell cultures or computer models. It's a practical, ethical guide in action, showing us a potential path forward.
And that leaves us with this one last crucial thought. We've gotten unbelievably good at decoding and copying nature's genius. So as we keep unlocking the secrets of life itself, what do you think our single biggest responsibility is to the natural world and to ourselves? It's something to think about, isn't it?